We're live, yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, see if anybody enters the realm. Enters the realm. Dang it. I'm having issues here. Issues. I hope everybody is sunshine in our face. Helps kill the big V. The big V, right? Dang it. Might buffer a lot because, Indiana's down. Which is where I'm at. Morning, old wise man. Where's that guy? I ain't nothing. I'm a young hip teenager that doesn't know jack. Good morning, Al. I ain't a fool for your loving no more. I ain't a fool for your loving no more. White snake. Right? Marty, hashtag KW. Scott, SRO Logistics. Morning. And GNC Family Trucking Grafton. How's it going, Jimmy Joe? We got 5 people in here. Awesome. 6. We're up to 6 now. Welcome back. Man, I really enjoyed Welcome Back's new facial and hair follicle arrangement he had going on. So, got to hang out with my sister yesterday. And so that was cool. And I've had to block a few people on Facebook because they're arguing with me about something that, well, I don't know, that sounds bad. Well, why did you block people that, or that disagree with you? It wasn't that they were disagreeing with me, is that they were arguing about something, and you could probably relate to this. They're arguing about something that I know is fact, yet they're arguing that it's not true. And when you have an argument on the internet, it does you no good. That, you got idiocy. You can't change people's minds on the internet. You just can't. But it wasn't like a conspiracy theory. It wasn't like false news or fake news or real news. It was about something that was really happening in our world today. There is, like, I've seen it with my own eyes, and he was arguing with me on it. It's like, what's the point? And I think that comes from the fact that I have a lot of friends, that I've had for years and years through the band and the music scene and everything, that live in this little bubble. Because they're not truck drivers. We as truck drivers have a unique perspective of what's going on with the nation. And so when people say, oh, there was somebody out there that said, well, these riots and protests are it's fake news. It's not really happening. Yeah, it is. I know people that have been affected by these things. The guy told me. And I'm like, well, you're missing the point. There are dangers that we as truck drivers face on just a regular day, let alone in this post-COVID riot world that we now live in. So, Trucker Stable, Charles Brandt, Trucking and OD podcast. Guys, go subscribe to Trucking and OD podcast. He's been doing these videos. He did one about Landstar, Trucker's Table. He did one about Landstar this morning. Go check that out. And he used to be he worked side by side with Landstar, so he kind of knows. Police need to start shooting looters. It will stop. Welcome back. I disagree with that, and here's why. I think what's going on is that they're trying to keep the situation de-escalated, because number one, they know that these people are disorganized. Number two, they know that the majority are not armed. So it looked like a slaughter. And there are probably some rioters that want that to happen. They want it because it'll only make them look bad. And think about this. It's something I want you guys to think about very carefully, okay? If you want to find out who the bad people are in your circle, okay, in your nation, let them do their bad things. And now you can identify them. Now you know what to expect. So now they're seeing if there's a strategy and what the strategies are. So they're letting it take its course so they can see who the culprits are, what's driving them, who to be aware of, and not who to be aware of, I guess I'm mixing my words up. Let your enemy do what it does so you can see all of their movements. Let your enemy basically bury themselves. And that's why they haven't shot. That's why they, because there is a large percentage that are being peaceful, right? There was like there was two demonstrations. I was laughing at what Ratman said. There's two demonstrations going on in LA, right? One was at one block and it was being peaceful, organized. The second one was like chaos, tear gas, the whole 9 yards, right? And and I'll get to that comment, RD. So if I want to see what my enemy is going to do, I let my enemy do it, and then I could plan accordingly from there. Do you guys not see that? Again, it goes back to being the bigger picture. While everybody's arguing about the small details, the government is taking notes, people. During COVID world, the government was taking notes. They were taking notes on what our limitations were. How far can you push a citizen before they fight back? And by springboards that have been put in place and trigger points being put in place, knowing that these people would be easily triggered, or people in general are easily triggered, now we can let things play out and see exactly what's going on and who's going to be a problem in the future. Think about that. Video out of pallets, bricks placed for no reason, no construction area, but you have a lot of bricks behind barricades in the middle of the street. So that tells you that there's a bigger picture. I've seen those videos. I've seen that. There's a bigger picture. And approach that pallet. Anybody who grabs something from that pallet, Now they can differentiate who the real protester is and who the person is that wanted to start problems. Or those pallets were put on purpose for the sole purpose of like, all right, here's your ammo. You can't bring in a pallet of bullets, right? You can't bring in a pallet of guns. That would be a complete revolution, right? But if we bring them a pallet of bricks, harmless construction, right? And they want to see exactly who will grab those bricks. These are distractions. I agree with that. Ratman says, "Is the pick your new hotshot rig?" Yep, that's the direction I'm going, right? All right, so let's do some shout outs here. RJ, if you come over here, don't hesitate to call me if you need any help with anything. Let's see. I got a parking ticket. Chicken didn't even have the guts to tell me in person. Most parking tickets, Triple T, are not given in person. You wake up, there's a piece of paper on your windshield, and you go, damn. Other trucker James Best, good morning. The riots are real. The news coverage of it is fake news. They aren't telling the truth. They call them protests when in fact they're staged. Protests, says RD. Nothing witty, good morning. Riots and shootings are real. Why they happen is based on a narrative. That's where you have to break down. Yukon, I agree 110%. Al says, good point. Big tail, good morning. I'm delivering to the place where I got the ticket. I'm in a parking lot. What the F? After a week of millions of dollars of damage, it's only going to continue. Eliminate them on the spot. Welcome back. Have you heard that Target has actually closed a bunch of stores in anticipation of what happened in Minneapolis? And guys, if you haven't done this yet, I want you to download Please Scan a Radio app. Okay, I want you to download that because it will tell you as a traveler where the hot spots are going to be and how do you set your notifications to where you get notified if there's more than 2,000 listeners in an area. Because that usually means that there's something going on. Like it could be an active shooter situation. It could be like a natural disaster. You know, if a tornado rips through, Norman, Oklahoma, all of a sudden scanner radio will light up for that county. So Big Houston, what's up? But anyway, some of you here will never have any clue what the real issue, even if you fall off of a boat. Morning all from sunny Lakeland, Florida. Good morning, South Georgia Indian Rider. The groups that are doing the riots are not disorganized and they want the government to come in with a heavy hand. It's not the BLM Grand Rapids, Michigan. I haven't been keeping up with all the riots, but I've heard a little bit about Grand Rapids. It's real for radicals. These people were bussed in. The bussed in thing, I don't know about actual buses because a lot of buses have been shut down. I haven't seen any buses since COVID world, so it would have to be other means of transportation. They have first-hand people evidence that the group came in after the peaceful protests were ending. I saw 3 tour buses loaded with people in New York City 135 miles ahead. Protesters shut down I-95 yesterday in West Palm Beach. Wow. Soros is creating jobs in this pandemic, and this is the thanks he gets. That's interesting. I know what you're saying, Team Tiny. I really do. But after you look at the big picture, okay? After you look at the general, the big picture, then you have to look at the fine detail of of I'll tell you here in a second, Charles. Don't fall down. Protecting yourself. What can you do to protect yourself? While this story plays out, what can you do to protect yourself? Let's find that app there, Charles, and I'll show it to you. That one right there. That's what it looks like. There's a pro version which doesn't have any ads, and then there's a free version. That's what you do. That's the one I use, Charles. National Guard should have been activated when the first business was damaged and looted. We didn't learn from 1992. I was using buses in general. They were brought in by whatever. Okay. I see what you're saying. Yukon. Riots are not protests. They are people taking advantage of civil unrest due to COVID. Guys, I've mentioned this video to all my friends. Blue Collar Logic did a video why the riots were inevitable. And there are a lot of people that believe it's a deeper thing than that. And regardless, it doesn't matter because it's happening. And the last thing, a lot of truck drivers on Facebook and on YouTube, bigrigceo did a video about this morning. We all remember Red Danny, the truck driver in the Los Angeles riots. And we are afraid of that, right? And the last thing that any of us want to do is to take someone's life either with whatever means we have in the truck or with the truck itself. Now, there's the video footage of the tanker driver that drove onto the bridge on 35. And, hold on a second. All right, guys. I'm back. So, anyways, that was the broker texting me. I forgot to mute my phone because I'm that guy. How ironic, during the shutdown they were releasing prisoners during the COVID. Something to think about, Charles. There's a lot of Reginald Denny. Yeah, there's a lot of If you get pulled out of your truck in that type of mob, you're going to assume that you're going to get murdered. My American Express has 16+1 stimulus checks ready for disbursement. I like that. I like how you put that, South Indian Georgia Rider, or South Georgia Indian Rider. Yeah, we've got a bad signal here, so we'll keep this short because the broker's like, "Hey, you're gonna go pick up." So, well, yeah, look at this. Almost forgot. I like how you use that American Express, right? But that's the thing. So the tanker driver, bigrigceo brought up a point that wasn't. I didn't put two and two together until he made that point this morning. Out of that mass humanity that swarmed that truck, how many of them had a CDL that could have driven that truck? Think about that. How easy would it be for someone to grab a truck full of fuel and do some major stuff with it? I mean, think about it. It was a box truck that took down the Oklahoma City building back in the 90s. Think about that. And that's the true danger, you know. Whether it's started by this group or that group, or there's a deep state agenda, at that point it doesn't matter. What matters is you got a crazy dude behind the wheel of a truck full of something that could destroy something. And that's what people have to realize. So not only is it important for you to ensure your own safety, but also if you're hauling something hazardous, it's a matter of national security that things don't go south in the cab of your truck. LVC did a video about it. Oklahoma City was multiple bombs. As I remember, back in 10 years ago when I got my CDL, I was in orientation at Transland. We had to watch a video from Homeland Security. And they, at that time, 10 years ago, the government is actually thinking that the next huge terrorist event is going to come by truck in the nation. It gave them an excuse to create a lot of the regulations that we have, especially 9/11, what that created. But for the most part, that is a legit fear. Because there's a lot of third-party companies that do CDL tests that will give you your CDL. A lot of third-party. I'm telling you, man, I've seen the quality of some of these drivers. There was a guy that almost hit my truck there at Costco in Morris, Illinois. He was of Eastern European descent, and he couldn't speak a word of English. It was like pulling teeth to try to help him get in the spot. And he said it was his first day. He goes, first day driving ever, because that's what it looked like. Not first day having a job with the CDL. And if I had not hit my horn, he would have probably caused about $15,000 worth of damage to this truck. And so you never see about that. I mean, I've never hauled fuel. I have a couple of friends that have, but that's, I don't know, that's probably true. If bigrigceo comes in here, maybe he can say. But I know food tanks, they obviously have seals. But what you have to watch with that video that LVC put up of the tanker that was swarmed with people. Think about this, okay? Let's say you've got a handgun that has about 15 round magazine. And you got 2 magazines. That's 30 rounds, okay? The quickness of everybody that swarmed that truck. There's an aerial footage of it. It is absolutely. It looked like ants attacking a piece of food. I mean, they just swarmed it. You guys ever seen that movie? That zombie movie with Brad Pitt, Planet Z or whatever. It looked like that. It looked like they just swarmed this truck, like that. They were on top of it. They were on the hood. They were on top of the trailer. They swarmed this truck. And if a person in that position, the driver in that position, even if you get one of the top handguns that has that many magazines, you can't fight all them people off. That's the danger. Yeah, I can protect from 2 or 3 criminals. You know, you shoot once and a lot of them will scatter. But what about the one guy that is also armed? Now you're in a shooting match, right? Over what? Your truck? So that swarm should have demonstrated to you on how critical it is to not put yourself in that kind of situation. You get CSA points when you fill out your little MVR thing, triple T, at the beginning of the year. It'll specifically say, have you had any moving violations? So you're good. World War Z, that's it. That was it. Nothing, Woody. Thank you. What if a bullet hits the tank? Absolutely. See, here's what I was looking at, okay? I'm not a military guy. I don't have any military training whatsoever. I'm not a wannabe military training guy. I've never been that guy either. However, I have watched the movie Convoy. And what happened in Convoy? Truck drives on bridge. We shoot bullets into the tank. Tank blows up, right? It would have been very easy for a driver to drive that truck onto that bridge. Everybody swarm it. Boom. A bullet to that tank, and there would have been like 20, 30 people dead instantly and hundreds injured on that bridge. That is the danger of that situation. So when you look at war countries like Iraq and Afghanistan and that stuff happens all the time. There are barricades up for a reason. You know, when I had to deliver something to an ammunition plant, they had like different levels of barricades I had to kind of maneuver through, because they don't want any truck to just come in and just, you know, full barrel blazing, you know. Watch Convoy, definitely an expert. Absolutely am an expert at blowing up stuff on a bridge. But that's the reality of it. Is that's how much of a fine line we're at here. And so they're wanting to keep, you know, and there are rioters that are wanting the cops to shoot. They want the National Guard to shoot because they want to make it look like their cause is for something, right? They want to make it look like there's a slaughter. That's why a lot of countries use water cannons to disperse people, because it's a non-lethal force. Bullet, lead, tank, aluminum, what causes the spark? Anything can cause a spark. Wouldn't take much. I remember one time I dumped a bunch of old gasoline on this tree root. It was all hollowed out, right? I thought, well, I'll just burn this thing from the inside, and that way I can just pry it out. And I knew that the gases in there would probably do something. Sure enough, I lit a match, threw it in there, boom! Scared the crap out of everybody in my neighborhood, including myself. Doesn't take much. But again, you have to be able to see the forest from the trees. I've been using that term a lot because while everybody's arguing about the details, I'm looking at the big picture. And there's definitely a racial divide narrative by the press. That's for sure. Because I was watching local Fox News in Minneapolis, and they had to make it a point. They had to make it a point and express it several times in one sentence that the truck driver that drove onto the bridge was white. Why is that significant? Right? Why is that significant? It's because the press wants that division, okay? They are trying to turn it into a black versus white thing. Okay?
Say command.
And it goes deeper than that. Damn darn. It's listening. Clyde, what's up? You don't think aluminum and lead create spark? There's more to it than that. There's we're not see again. We're going to have a discussion about the details. The whole point is that a truck full of gasoline around a mass of people is a bad thing. I don't care how it's sparked. I don't care if the science of aluminum, versus lead. It doesn't matter. There's a reason that there's a placard on the trailer, okay? That's what I'm talking about. People want to argue the details. But the general fact is a tanker truck around a mass of people could easily be turned into a weapon, RD, okay? That's where I'm getting at. You guys have to look at the bigger picture. What is happening in our country? It's not details. It goes even far beyond the black versus white thing, okay?
Say a command.
Wow, every time I say black versus white, this Garmin wants to put her 2 cents in. Let's try that. Black versus white. Okay. How about we do this? We'll just shut this off. And so while everybody's on my Facebook page arguing about details that really don't matter, no one's seeing the whole picture for what it is. And that's what I'm getting at. That's the whole purpose. Oh, I understand. Okay, nothing, Woody. I get it. I know the movies make it look like that would happen, but it wouldn't take much to spark that, right? It wouldn't take much. There are footages of fuel trucks wrecking that it explodes, right? So. One hitter. GNC's got jokes today. Because it's interesting to me that the press makes it a white and black thing, be it there are many black people that are speaking against everything that's going on. There are many black people that are losing their businesses to this. So it's not like it's not like the ones that look at it like that, they're the ones that are believing that narrative, but it goes deeper than that. There's a division being created on multiple fronts, and that's the thing you got to look at. That's the bigger picture, and there's a bigger picture on that I won't even get into. Anyways, we're going to start our pre-trip. Write down my time. Today is a straight through load day. I pick up and then I deliver today. So that's kind of nice when you can do that. And I gotta get off this YouTube's and start looking for a load for tomorrow. So I'll get to the dock. I'm literally like 3 miles away from my customer, and I gotta look at load boards and make some phone calls. Monday morning load boards. Ugh, I despise that moment of time. A little nippy up in Wisconsin. Yeah, it's a little chilly here. I had to turn the AC off last night, which, by the way, my APU, knock on wood, is working awesome. So, I like how his company made it clear he was an independent contractor. Yeah, they wanted nothing to do with that. Happy hunting, good luck, Steve. Stack electricity. Yep, nothing. RD, yeah, it's cool, RD. I get it. Sometimes I come across as like I think that it happens like in movies. There's a lot of stuff like with the gun world. There's a lot of stuff that like I watch certain shows now, knowing what I know on just a short time I've been into the whole gun thing, and I'm like, well, that's not right. That's not how that works. So. Yep. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this morning coffee. Hope it made you think about a few things. Look at the bigger picture. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to tell you my conspiracy theories. I'm not going to tell you, to believe one thing and not the other. You got to look at the bigger picture, right? And wonder how many of these people that have been doing these mass gatherings are going to get the virus. So, anyways, peace.